All right, here we are. Today we're going to have a guided meditation, and it's actually going to be a process of awareness, noticing, witnessing. Take a moment to center yourself. And to center oneself just means to gently shift from thinking about things to feeling what you're feeling. And simply being. So for the rest of this process today, I'd like you to be in a state of being as opposed to trying to figure things out. Today's practice is about the intensity of flow, and it's also very related to equanimity. Equanimity is a word that we don't use too often in our language, so not everyone is that familiar with it. It means a balance of mind, equipoise, no strong likes and dislikes, no strong wanting and not wanting. And it's strange because we're not used to this, but there's a great happiness here. Equanimity is a profound kind of happiness. It's actually happiness for no reason. And it's happiness in every season. So today's process is noticing flow. And flow results in a balance of mind and equanimity. So now for the rest of this practice, I'm going to invite your attention again and again to noticing flow. So in this moment, what do you notice is flowing? So for me, the easy one is sound. Where I am today, I can hear traffic on the road in the distance. And that's a continuous flow of sound. So instead of resisting it or judging it or telling some story about it, simply noticing flow. What else is flowing? Could be the breath. What else is flowing? Feelings, sensations, we're not trying to create a state of flow, we're just noticing the flow. Any kind of change, any kind of movement, any kind of pulsing, vibrating, shifting, throbbing. Any experience whatsoever implies flow. Any experience whatsoever implies flow. Of course, when we try to meditate, the first thing we notice is how many thoughts there are. Thinking of this, thinking of that, remembering this, remembering that. Well, instead of resisting it, notice that even that's a flow. Thoughts are flowing. When we live in the world of thoughts, everything seems solid. Everything has a name. Everything becomes a solid idea, concept. Everything matters. When we shift from the world of thoughts to feeling, emotion, energy in motion, suddenly we're in a world of flow. Nothing is static. So it doesn't matter which of these you focus on for the rest of this period this morning. Intensely notice, witness, recognize flow. Could be sound, could be breath, could be feelings, could be thoughts, could be any other experience. Or a combination of many experiences. Our work is just to notice flow, not try to understand what's happening, why it's happening. Just leave that for now. moment by moment, a recognition of flow. To recognize flow is to be in the flow. Not some idea of what it should feel like to be in the flow. You actually are in the flow. And yet, strangely, forever unaffected by the flow. Moment by moment, recognition of flow. It's okay to be distracted. Even that, notice flow. No resistance. And if there is resistance, then even in that, notice the flow. Resistance means we have an idea of which direction the flow should go. And ideas are also flowing. Those feelings of resistance are also flowing. And the broader flow of life is, of course, flowing. What if for a moment you don't try to direct the flow of your life, control the flow of your life, instead just notice the flow of this life and everything in life. Intensity of flow, of recognizing flow. From childhood, we've been told fairy tales which end with the lines, happily ever after. Or we watch movies which have this kind of feeling that from that point everything was fine. And so this becomes a kind of a myth, and we're waiting for that to happen to us. When will I have my happily ever after? But there's only this broad flow, you know. And perhaps this idea of happily ever after, it robs us of sacredness. Everything becomes a means to that end. We use people. This moment is then just something to be used to get to that imaginary end. Everything becomes transactional. Once that happens, then my life will be all right. Once my kids go to college or get married or have their own kids, once I have so much money in my retirement fund, once, or even spiritually, you know, once I meditate 2 hours every day, 5 hours every day, once I'm always in a state of awareness, once I'm enlightened. But when we recognize flow, we know that there is no ever after. There's just a flow. Recognize flow. Could be sounds, could be feelings, could be breath, could be thoughts. Sampajanya narinchati. Sampajanya narinchati. Don't even lose it for a moment. Have this comprehensive understanding, recognition. It's all changing, it's all throbbing, it's all vibrating. It's all, they call it spandan, constant state of fluctuation, vibration, movement. And the strangest thing is, this really is the strangest thing. Every time we recognize flow, there is an immediate access to stillness. And every time there is stillness, every single thing is in flow. Paradox of paradoxes. And let's go a little deeper with this. So far, we've been noticing flow, observing flow. But could it be that even the one that is observing the flow, noticing the flow, that sense of I am, could it be that that is also a flow? Just be open to that possibility. The riverbank is witnessing the flow of the river. But look carefully, even that riverbank is a flow. Even those mountains are a slow wave. What is not a flow? Intensity of flow. Instead of trying to manipulate the flow of this life, how tiring and exhausting. Try manipulating the flow of a river. See how much joy that brings you. Instead of trying to manipulate the flow of life, witness the flow and witness the flowing witness. Witness the flow. Witness the flowing witness. And the Buddha says, Anicca sankhara uppadavaya dhammino. Anicca sankhara uppadavaya dhammino. Uppajjitva nirujjanti te samavupasamo sukho. Uppajjitva nirujjanti te samavupasamo sukho. Anicca sankhara. All experiences are in a state of flow, in a state of flux, in a state of change, in a state of uncertainty. Anicca sankhara uppadavaya dhammino. of the nature arising, passing, entering, leaving, coming together, disbanding, consolidating, dispersing, tide in, tide out. Having arisen and subsided. In noticing this flux, this flow, this arising, this passing, this coming, this going, in this very knowing, te samavupasamo sukho, there is profound happiness, mystery of mysteries. We thought happiness would come from directing the flow of this life, controlling the flow of this life, manipulating the flow of this life. Turns out, recognizing the flow itself is happiness. Entering the flow, being the flow. Lots of background sound, but I am part of the flow. And this is also called the direct experience of change, the direct knowing of change. It is one of the most reliable rivers to purification and indeed liberation. Liberation from the imaginary prison we have created for ourselves, the constructs of our own mind, the imaginary cages we have so meticulously installed all around ourselves, individual, family, society, all kinds of cages, dismantling those cages. How? Recognizing flow. So you can continue practicing after this is over, if you like. The Buddha doodle for today is: nature does not hurry, yet everything is accomplished. Nature does not hurry, yet everything is accomplished. Lao Tzu. And there's a picture of a elephant and a monk sitting very happily in a blooming flower. Nature does not hurry, yet everything is accomplished. Instead of pulling and pushing at this flow of life, notice the flow of life. Don't be in a hurry to get anywhere, because there is nowhere to get to. Wherever you get, the story doesn't end over there. Let's break that myth. Let's cut that myth. Wherever you go, there you are. So may this practice of this morning be a profound, profound, profound blessing in your life. You can revisit it as often as you like. And revisit the recognition of flow all of today. All of today. Lots of love. Be happy.